Hello and welcome to Daily Politics on Trust TV. On this program, we discuss issues around politics, policy, and governance. I'm Hamza Idris and Eid Mubarak to Muslim Ummah in Nigeria and across the world. Special Advisor to President Bola Tinubu on Policy and Coordination and Head of Central Coordination Delivery Unit, Hadiza Bala Usman, says the administration has developed and released a Citizens Delivery Tracker app to monitor the performance of ministers and their portfolios. Hadiza said Nigerians can use the device to give feedback to the government on policies, programs, and projects. The initiative, which she says is in line with the government's commitment to citizen-centric approach to governance, is to also cover the implementation of constituency projects allocated to senators and House of Representative members across the country. Recall that the ministers had signed performance bonds in November 2023, which prepared them for evaluation on the 8 priority areas of the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu administration with deliverables and key performance indicators, KPIs. And in another brief, the federal government is to launch 3 new national identity cards in May this year for about 104 million Nigerians. The ID cards include a bank-enabled, a social intervention card, and an optional ECOWAS national biometric identity card. It is against this backdrop we'll be engaging with a public policy analyst, Dr. Suleiman Abdullahi, to examine the policy options. Dr. Abdullahi, once again, thank you for joining us on the program.
Thank you very much.
And Eid Mubarak.
Same to you.
May Almighty Allah accept our ibadah.
Very interesting.
So we'll take a short break, and when we return, the conversation commences. Don't go away. Yes, Dr. Abdullahi, once again, welcome to the program. Yes, your PhD is on leadership and strategic studies. Yes, and the Tinubu administration coming up with quite a number of initiatives day in, day out. But this time around is on the Citizens Delivery Tracker. That is how they name it. What is your take on this initiative?
Citizen Deliverance Tracker, the way you call it, we have a different name for it in Malawi, in other African countries. It's not a new thing to them. It is a kind of civil service performance system. Some people call it civil servant evaluation monitoring system or mechanism. So in this aspect, it is not a new thing. If you said I should look at it, it is not something that we should come out and say, look, we have never heard of it. This is the first time we are saying it.
How do you mean?
Yes, because if you look at Savicom,
okay, Savicom of the federal government.
Yes, the federal government addresses this issue of what? Savicom is just to fight against service delivery failure to the citizens of Nigeria.
Is that why you have Savicom offices in virtually all government establishments? I think it's by the law establishing it, they have desk office.
They have desk office virtually in all the MDS. So what they are after, you must deliver the government service to the citizen within the appropriate time, with transparency, with all fairness. You make sure that, look, you do it as expected without any failure. So now, if you are talking of citizen track system here by this government,
as they call it, Citizens Delivery Tracker.
Delivery Tracker is just a feedback mechanism of Savicom. That's the truth about point blank. Because if Savicom is performing and you want to go back to get the feedback of what of Savicom, it's through the Citizens Delivery Tracker. You get them back, let them give you feedback. So it is then you will know if Savicom is working or not working.
Then maybe there is the likelihood that maybe Savicom was not working before and this government wants to make it work. Could that be correct?
This is two different things. Like in mass communication, you have the sender, the receiver, and you have what? The decoder and the transmitter in between. So the next thing you have at the last point is what? Is the feedback. Feedback mechanism goes around through the same process and come back to the sender. You understand now? Just like we are here today, if you want to get back the feedback mechanism, you go to the what? To the public and ask them about the policy and much of your policy on the quality of services on government policy and other things through your program here. So now those mechanisms will also come back through the same system that we went to pass to the people. You understand now? People will look at the electronic system, the mechanism you use, the cameras, is it SECAM, is it FEDAM, is it the latest one in the system? You understand now? How digital is it? Your studio is it digital? All the computer maneuvering in the studio will have to put into play to look at how effective is your studio. So these are the feedback mechanisms. The same thing here applicable to the Servicom. If this is the feedback mechanism of Servicom, why not reform? Still, we are reforming Servicom and establish feedback mechanism to make it more effective, so that those offices will also give feedback on it. And let's look at it. If this government is being sincere to the people, the first we have to see if it is the ministers that we really want to track as indicator here. We have to look at the performance of the minister, because they have found a bond between the ministers and the government on their performance activities. No, the first thing you look, we have performance indices, or what to use in checking the performance of every minister.
A criteria
or something like of that nature. So let's look at it clearly. What are your parameters you use in checking the activities of every minister? Is this performing at the high level, A, B, C? You understand? Is this performing below average? This is what we are saying. And how do you rate him? Are you going to rate him based on what? On the input before people send it to you through your indicator? No. Look, the ministers report to who? To the SSG. SGF, the Secretary General of the Federation. So the Secretary General of the Federation have every right to assess every minister quarterly or at the end of every year. That is number one. Number two, the presidency, Mr. President appointed all the ministers. Mr. President have the right to look. This is the mandate I'm giving you. 1 year, 2 years, 6 months. You understand now? And let me look at your executive summary of your activities within the next 6 months.
Doctor, I think this is what the president did, but he domiciled this responsibility of evaluation in the office of the special advisor. They call her, head of the coordination delivery unit. That's Hadiza Bala Usman. Maybe it's a new initiative.
No. Why I tend to disagree, you understand now, is just like taking an old wine and changing the bottle or the keg, and you give it a different name. You understand now? We are tired of this type of policies. Come direct with what? With clean and clear information that are clear to the citizen. You understand now? If really you want to make the activities of your minister, you have a better way of doing it. Let me tell you, after signing the form, you expect a minister that is not performing to be sacked by the president.
Yes.
The same thing, the minister is expected, if he's not being maximum support by the president, he should also resign.
So it should be two-way.
It should be two-way round, two-way traffic. Because let me tell you, during it's not Tony Blair, after Tony Blair, that's this lady that took over the premiership of United Kingdom. One of the Secretary for Education, that is Minister for Education, she was not given enough fund to have implement her project policies as far as what education is concerned in UK. She resigned for that reason. And last week, one of the secretaries also retired. He said, look, what they are paying me is not enough to pay my mortgage. So I have to retire, I have to resign. And he resigned. So what we are saying here, in a nutshell, is that, look, the same thing that the government should be monitoring the ministers in their performance activities, the minister also should look at the government. Are they supporting us with the necessary facilities to expedite action on what we want to put in place as far as policy implementation is expected, concerned. And what we are saying, look, in project management, there is what we call project management, that is monitoring and evaluation. You have to monitor every project, you have to evaluate it and go back and look at it. Who are involved and to what extent are you achieving success or progress? Yeah. So who are monitoring all the ministers? Who are evaluating them? In what else? Are you telling me the citizen should be the one evaluating them? How? What are the evaluating indices the organizations are going to use?
I think what they are trying to do is to give access to the citizens to also be part of the monitoring and evaluation.
Let me tell you, 75% of Nigerian citizens are illiterate.
I have that question here because I was trying to say, okay, if they have the app now, how accessible is the app. Can you comment on that?
This is part of the problem, you understand now? It is a bottleneck that, look, you find it difficult to break. Now you are telling me you have an app. How many Nigerians will be able have the time, luxury time to go there, download the app and start
I and you will do
understand?
that, for instance.
And we will
Maybe
do that.
you, because you are a policy analyst, I am a journalist. I know that I will have interest. In fact, I even have the link.
How are we sure that this system are not open to manipulations? Because let me tell you.
You are opening a new vista of conversation.
Very good.
Okay.
Now,
manipulation by who, for instance? You think?
Even the ministers themselves, you can sponsor thousands of people, share 5,000 naira to them, let them go and treat them to go to the app and fill the app with what? With negative information or in your favor. It's a serious issue. Look, the interest of the people is not for the people to measure the performance of every minister. If a performing minister is performing, let me tell you, you will get the feedback from the media on the newsstand. The people will also raise. Look, if Super Eagle won a trophy, it is not a hidden news to every Nigerian. We will come out and celebrate it nationally.
It's the same thing with ministers.
Same thing with ministers. When NL5 was here in FCT, he was moving from one point to the other, from the North Pole to the South Pole, from the West to the East Pole. People are applauding him, and he's touching the untouchable. What are people saying? It is all over the media, all over the places. Even in foreign news, it was there. What brought NL5 to the limelight as far as politics is concerned? It is performance when he was the FCT minister. He was a performer when he was Bureau for Public Enterprises. So if you are performing, you are performing. If you are not performing, you are not performing.
But there must be parameters upon which citizens should have a say in what is happening. If you are to advise, maybe the special advisor, on policy and coordination.
Impact analysis.
Okay.
Impact analysis. If whatever you are doing as a minister, as a governor, as a DG, as a PAMSEC, have serious impact on the citizen, immediately you get the feedback. The feedback mechanism is not going to stop, and nobody will stop it. You understand now? It will be all over the news pages. It will be all in the media and the media.
It shouldn't be measured using scientific apparatus like this app.
If we want to use scientific apparatus, to what level are Nigerians scientifically? Look, let me tell you, all data, most Nigerians buy data to access the internet, to gain whatever they will gain there, to better their life. That is what they are doing. We are talking of government governance. How many people understand the government policy? I'm talking about monitoring evaluation. I'm talking about project management. How many people are talking about project management? How many people know about policy and administration and policy design? And to what extent are you telling people to know about leadership quality, leadership philosophy, leadership trait, leadership quality? To what extent will they measure what? The analysis of SWOT, weakness and resistance, to proactiveness of what? Leadership performance. All these things are all the variables you put in place. Let me tell you, if we are being sincere with ourselves, the first day I brought this issue up with the other TV station, sister station. You know what I said? Yeah. I said, the moment you, Mr. President, appoint your ministers, give them a working tool. You understand now? This is what I want you to help me achieve within this ministry, from social period to social period. If you are not getting it right, I will ask you, give me executive summary of what we have done in the last 6 months. I will compare with the assignment I've given to you when you are taking your oath of office. I will look at it. Then I will score you. First and foremost, if you want to get this thing done, we have two people, two offices. You have office of what? Of the Secretary of the Federation. And you have office of Chief of Staff to the Mr. President. You understand now? Every minister quarterly submit your executive summary of your performance within the last quarter of the year through these two offices. I will look at it together, form a committee, evaluate this assessment. This is what I've given. Number one, you Minister of Information, Minister of Finance, give me a template of what you intend doing as the Minister of Finance within the next 1 year. Give me a template. I want to see it, to show me you understand the economic and financial condition of Nigeria. That is number one. From what you are submitting to me, it tells me if you know what you are going to do or not. You understand now? If you deserve to continue to sit in that seat or not. So now I will assess you by what? By what you have submitted to me, a blueprint on how you want to steer the ministry in the last 6 months or 1 year. So, excuse me, please. Mr. Minister, you submitted this to me. Am I correct? Then all you have been doing within the last 6 months has no any impact with what or correlation between what you submitted to me. What is happening? I will give you benefit of that for next 1 quarter. I want to see your effectiveness as Minister of Finance. If I'm not getting the expected feedback from you, you understand now, please consider it. I'm done.
So, Doctor, if I understand you, what you are saying is it should have been a self-assessment kind of a thing. Meaning that the minister should, the KPI is clearly stated there, then the minister should, you know, append his signature that I will deliver,
brother,
these are the deliverables.
He who employs you dictate to you how you should work, and he knows when to fire and when not to fire you. You don't have to ask the audience, do I fire him or not?
But are you not trying to actually exclude the public, the general public, from participating in government?
The public there are there to feel the impact. The impact feedback mechanism will show the scorecard if you are doing or not doing well. Last week I was with the DG Voice of Nigeria, Jibri in that chair. Look, his essay said, look, do you know they went for a public outing? And most of the ministers and some principal aide of Mr. President are praising him for what? For being outspoken against people that are casting wrong information about the government. That he's putting a look, the people should be aware of fake news, fake information against the government. And they are really applauding him. So if presidency will applaud on this, then tell me what about the public, general public, that have direct impact of what? Of government impact on them. Why won't they get the feedback from the public? You understand now? Look, what brought, let's go back to history. What brought President Muhammadu Buhari to government in 2015 was his impact that people felt when he was the chairman of PTF. Petroleum
Trust Fund.
During Abacha period. Because he was virtually on every street. You see it, PTF road project, the hospital road project, the classroom project, building and everything. He was virtually the opt-in now to some hospital you go, you see PTF bedsheet. No matter how rough it is, you see it. You understand now? That was what gave him 2015 ticket. So the feedback impact mechanism is there, is natural, and people, you are bound to get it and feel it from the people. So what we are saying here is that, look, what we are saying is, look, you who give the appointment should be able to monitor and fire when necessary.
And I think that's exactly what Tinubu did, because he can't be everywhere, a doctor.
Let me tell you, what we want to see a proactive measurement. We have spot assessment. Look, you don't need to tell your minister you are coming. Go to any ministry as a president. Be there, where the PAMSEC, where the minister, look at what is happening there. You understand now? The following, you can even live there in the next 30 minutes. You go to another ministry, because most of the ministries are within the federal secretariat. Look at what is happening, because the first point of reform in every civil servant is punctuality. Can you tell me? The public should come and tell you when did the minister was there or not? When did he come to work and when did he close? Nobody, no public, no everybody on the street will tell you that. We don't know the move of the minister or the PAMSEC. Then how can we measure the integrity of the minister or the PAMSEC? How do we measure the relationship between what? The common security man and the director there or the PAMSEC there? What are their relationship? Because the effectiveness of the relationship have serious impact on the job. What are we saying? Then how do the common citizen measure what? The performance activities of the directors, assistant directors, or deputy directors. What are the linkages and correlation between their work, how they synergize together to get the services delivered? So what we are saying here, look, is a serious task. What I'm telling you is not just for the mere citizens, man on the street, for him to access a minister. You understand now? How many people even have access to television? If you have access to television, you are not looking at movies or that is, how do you pay for your satellite? I'm battling with what? With school fees, NEPA bill, and cost of petroleum. Then you are telling me I should start buying an app, buy data, and look at an app and start to fill and send to you for the government. Look, we have not happening. Let me tell you, we have done our bit. We have exercised our franchises. We have gone to the poll. We casted our vote, and he's the winner. He should not share his responsibility with the citizen. We bear our responsibility. Yeah. We have the trust in him as the president, and we voted him in. You understand now? What we are saying, let him bear his cross as the president, and he should get people that are ready to work with him, that are proactive in what? In every standard of service delivery as far as good governance is concerned. So put them in place. Whoever is not delivering to you as expected, you understand now? Remove him. Nobody will call you to query. Nobody will ask you any question.
And the president is approaching 1 year because this is April. Next month, around this time, we're just counting days to the first anniversary of this administration. And you can see it is now that the policy direction, if I should put it that way, is coming out. Do you think by May 29, the president will say, okay, Minister A has achieved A, B, C, Minister B has achieved this, Minister C and D have achieved this?
You see, still up to today, when you look at the financial sector of Nigeria is not stable. You understand now? So now, if you are telling me I should assess the Minister of Finance, what are the policy drive that has really comes to put, that are really in place, that is really rejigging our, financial stability?
I would say Naira has,
Nigeria.
that hit nearly 1,800.
It's now to 1,200.
1,000.
Let me tell you the reality about it. Is the introduction of what? Of the BRIC currency. That is why people are now not comfortable with keeping dollars anymore. Because the BRICS currency is taking over what? The strength of the dollar, even within the local and international market. Let me tell you, it's a simple analysis. It's a simple analysis. The fear of the unknown. That is why people are now more on Naira than dollar. Because now, let me tell you, even the India rupee or the Chinese yuan is even more valuable than the dollar today. You understand now? So dollar
in terms of acceptability.
And dollar is losing its value on what? In the international market on daily basis. Let me, as we speak now, US is owing China over $100 billion. Go and check the indices. You understand now? Go and check the performance of what? Of the American financial system. And you know what we are saying. So the dollar is losing its prestige because it has no backup. The BRICS currency have a backup by the gold. It's backed by the gold. You understand now? So it is just a mere paper on the street that have been given the international legal backing that, look, it is what it is and it should be accepted. And they have weaponized it in every standard of our international engagement, you understand, interaction with other nations. And let me tell you, when it comes to international transaction, you understand now, we want to look at the value of your local currency and the value of international currency. And what are the measures in between these two currencies? That is, what is the backup? To what extent can I get gold for my currency to support my currency? To what extent that this currency I'm transacting with have gold to support the net power of it? So if we come to international standard, look at the weight of every currency with its backup. You understand now? So in what we have in the World Bank and IMF, they are not looking at this indices. They will tell you we are looking at the performance indices of what? Of economic indices, micro and macroeconomic of this, and what we are exporting and what we are importing. You understand now? This is what they look at and measure. And the same institution are the one controlling this market for your nation. They will tell you devalue this, remove that, and remove that. At the end of the day, they come back to tell you this policy is good, this is not good. At the end of the day, they tell you devalue your Naira.
Now,
so what we are saying,
yes.
Look, the financial standard of Nigeria today is not, we should not measure it between Naira and dollar, because it is not what you measure the interest of the common man on the streets. The people that went to vote are not the people that are using the dollar and Naira. You understand? Are trading within dollar and Naira and pound sterling. They are the common man on the street. You understand now? That is why during the campaign era, they work from one town hall to the other, from one local government to the other, try to convince the local man at the grassroots to come out to cast their vote for their party. Now are you measuring the life of those people with dollars?
So now, if we were to take maybe few of the ministers to say, as a policy analyst, to say, okay, let's have a look, let's put them on a scale to rate them. Let's say maybe for instance, education. Can you say there is something to show between that time and now, when they came on board?
You see, let me tell you, this issue we are saying today, even when Adamu was the Minister of Education, I attended and I'm sorry to say I liked him. I said, look, We know how he is to write. He's a voracious writer, a very good analyst, and a very good judgment to previous government. I expect him to perform wonderfully as a Minister of Education. But he tends to follow the route of those he has criticized in the past. You sit down, wait for files, read newspapers, attend to files, and relax and go home, back home. I expect a Minister of Education to move from one university to the other as Minister of Education. Look at what is happening in the classes. Look at the university policy and what is the relationship between what the management staff and the teaching staff.
Yes.
You understand now? As a minister of education, you are once a student of one of those universities. You understand now? Go to university, ask direct question from them, have assess impact. You have federal government colleges. Have you gone to all these schools to see what is happening? Physically, you have to be in the field. You can never be a general without going to any battlefield.
It's not possible.
It's not possible. Before you should be a minister, you must go to one institution, look at it, go to the FCT, Federal College of Education, go to Federal Polytechnics, go to federal universities, assess and look at it. Then you have direct assessment with your file and folders coming back to your office and write your report to Mr. President. This is my field assessment. This is field report. In research, that's what we call field report.
Yeah,
I will look at
say
the
this is what ought to happen. Now take aviation, another instance to say, okay, if Nigerians are to now deploy this app to say, okay, let's assess what happened in the last.
In the aviation industry, my brother, look at how many flight cancellation do we have? How many times have we changed flight from one state to the other? Then you ask question at the aviation minister, why this excess of flight cancellation. Why is it happening? That shows we are not yet there. This is 21st century, whereby everything is being computerized. Look, in one of my outing, that was in China. Before getting there, the man to pick me from the airport is already there with a tag carrying my name.
Waiting for your arrival.
For my arrival. At my arrival in the hotel, it has been booked, my accommodation, everything, how many days I'm going to spend. Where I'm going to, my movement, everything has been scheduled. Understand now? The following day, before you know, they have told me your breakfast is ready. You understand now? Before I took my bath, they have already pass something or slip something under my door. This is your schedule for the whole day.
Everything that you will do.
Everything, please. Are we so effective in this country like this? These things are being computerized. The computer knows we are having a guest from Nigeria, and this guest is also from social institution, from social organization, and it's coming from activities. So this is his program. You understand now? On every point, my departure day, by the time you departed, they know this person have departed, and from the airport, they know that look, you have taken the next flight from China to Nigeria.
Yes.
You have left. So what are we saying? We have immigrants that are still here without any paper documentation, moving around, struggling in the same market with a true Nigerian. What are we saying? We have non-identified immigrants that are here that have our own national ID card. What are we saying? What are we saying? And you said, to what extent are we going to assess? Is it my problem?
Somewhere, right?
We have to start somewhere. Let the person that owns the take his responsibility and do it, effectively. And we have to teach people what? By good example. Mr. President should be up and doing with his health. If he has any health challenges with his age, understand now, he should be able to show good example. Move from one state to the other. Let Mr. President move from his office one day without giving notice to Minister of Petroleum. Let him be there. What is happening? Let me see your data within the last 1 month. Even if you don't know what is, I'm not going to do anything there. Let me see what we've been doing within the last 1 month. You see, it means a bit jittery. You understand now? Right. You have some psychological impact on whatever he's going to do within the next 6 months because he don't know if you are coming back with specialist. Task force.
Good. Thank you very much, Doctor. We'll take a short break. And then when we return, we'll continue with the conversation. Viewers, don't go away. We'll be back shortly. Welcome back. If you are just joining, you are watching Daily Politics on Trust TV. Do well to follow the conversation across our social platforms on Facebook, Instagram, and watch us live on YouTube. We still have in the studio Dr. Suleiman Abdullahi, is Public Policy Analyst, and we're discussing Citizen Delivery Tracker app, and then we'll move on to the new national ID card project. But finally, on the issue of the public, tracker, the Citizen Delivery Tracker. Yes, Hadiz Abala said even members of the National Assembly, citizens will have the opportunity to track constituency projects. Is that going to be possible?
You see, it's a very funny issue here we have. It's not like as if we are making fun of our nation, of our national policies or issues that have to do with the citizens. When did the executive start to monitor the activities of the legislators? If you have anything against the Constitution, have told you that look, we have the right to withdraw and call back our own legislators, the senator or the House of Representatives, if they are not performing.
Yes.
Then if after we
and then now Hadiza has given the citizen that platform.
The platform.
To say that, okay, our representative
is not performing. If you tell, is it Hadiza that is going to tell him that people say you are not performing, come back?
She has given them the application.
The application where we can do it. After doing it, what are the modalities are we going to use to call him back? Is she going to supply with the modality?
Okay, you are not talking about the legal framework.
The legal framework is with these people. They wonder, they form the law. You understand? The judiciary interpret the law. The executive signed the law into what? Into action. Now, let me tell you, it is just trying to look at, create one, relevancy to one office or the other. That's the way I look at it. You see.
But how can you encourage
let me tell you,
let me tell you, right?
Let me tell you, if you want to get it right, if a senator is not performing, now the senator have some kind of interrelationship between the governor, the senator, and the citizens. The governor have the right to call the senator, you understand, as the executive governor of the state. My people are complaining about your constituency that you are not performing. You understand now? I will tell them how to initiate what? Recall. You understand what I'm saying now? So because within that constituency, we have traditional rulers.
And
we have the councillors.
We
have the chairman.
This app has eased the long process where the governor must have to, manually.
Look, you cannot do it without the hand of the governor. And you cannot go to the constituency of this senator to tell him that this is what we have seen and the people should start to initiate a callback process. It is not your duty. You understand now?
It's not the duty of the executive
to do that, from Hadiza to do that. For example, you are telling somebody from Akwa Ibom State that is a senator is not performing, and this is from your tracker. This is what they are saying. So we want to initiate a callback process for the senator. I found it difficult if she go to that constituency, if she come back as she went there completely.
Will you now recommend maybe another framework that will bring the Savicom you mentioned, including the staff of Savicom,
let me tell
and
you.
then this app and the staff that are piloting the project.
Fantastic. If you have an effective Savicom and people, number one, they are punctual, there's nothing like truancy in the civil servant, you understand now. There's no bottleneck when it comes to bureaucracy in what? In the civil service. No, everybody is up to the task, and files are being moved from one table to the other as expected.
Seamlessly.
And every director or assistant deputy director is working to attend to a file, not until he moves the file reluctantly from one deputy director to one assistant director that is not his duty. Then you see the job going excellently. Then let me tell you, this will fast track service delivery in Nigeria.
Then who will enforce that? There must be monitor,
Monitor and evaluation should come from what? The SGF, those that give appointment, because those that pave the piper dictate the tune of what? Of the dance. So let me tell you, in this aspect of it, the executive, you that appoint all the DGs, the PAMSECs, the ministers, you should know their capacity. You should know what you want from them, and you should know what you don't want. You have your do and don't. And within the next 4 years, you are going back with what? With your scorecard to the people to show them, I need your re-election. So it is now you put these people you have employed to task.
Even though we have another topic to discuss, but this aspect is becoming interesting again and again. Now, by May 29, as we mentioned at the beginning of the program, there was this performance bond. Do you think Tinubu will deliver on this aspect of performance bond on May 29 when he marks his first anniversary in office?
You see, I'm part of the citizens because within the 1 year, we have shown him some sense of responsibility as citizens, and we have shown him some level of cooperation and integration as far as this government is concerned. All the expected collaboration from the citizen we have given him. So we want to see him to come out and tell us what he has achieved. Understand? I don't want to preempt the outcome. You understand now? Because we have serious impact on the psychic of our audience.
And we should put it on a scale, most likely to say,
if you want to say, look at
you have promised, these are the things we have seen on the ground that have been delivered.
And look at what you have taken away from the people. You have taken away the fuel subsidy. You understand now? It's a serious shock for the people. Then what have you replaced it with? We look at the palliative measures you have brought. What are the impact?
How effective?
Direct impact, how effective it is to the what? To the common citizens, common Nigerians. You understand now? That is number one. Number two, we'll look at your policy drive. What have you achieved within the economic sector? The reform you want to bring in the central bank.
We have the Naira floating.
The Naira floating. We have to look at the forex exchange. You understand now? We have to look at the micro and macro economic policy.
And most recently, the electricity.
The electricity. We have to come to that one. We have to the performance of the commercial banks. Now you are talking of capitalization, understand now? All these are things we need to look at it. And these things are not meant for the ordinary citizens. Because if you are telling me to assess this government with all these indices, it is not a one-day job. I have to look at this, look at for beautiful statistics. What do you have as statistically within the last 6 months, within the last 1 year? And we'll look at it with all sense of what? Of integrity with sincerity and look at it. So coming out with this, look at the petroleum sector. What have you achieved? Understand now?
And the promises made.
And the promises made. Up till now, within 6 months, you say all our refineries are going to work. Up till now, are they working? At what level are they performing? The 3 refineries. And look at it. What's the relationship between the petroleum industry and the Dangote refinery? At what are they supposed to sell for Dangote? At what is it supposed to refine for Nigeria and sell the final product to the general market? And what are we getting? So this is what we are saying. Look, when it comes to really policy, and you look at it, Mr. President, in one of his campaign rhetoric, he said...
You call it rhetoric?
Yes, I call it rhetoric.
Because you don't believe in them.
That is it. Because you will not believe until you see it. Manifestation, practical. It's not about mention. He said, I will make the economic environment, business environment, more friendly for investors to come in and invest in Nigeria.
Has he not done that?
Look, you said you are going to ease taxation. You are going to make all process flexible for them. How many investors have we seen that have flown from other countries to Nigeria within the last 1 year we are talking? How many Nigerians that have been employed within these new sectors? And up to now, as I'm talking to you, some companies are still closing. Go and check. Where is FISA? Where is MB, PW? Most of those pharmaceutical industries have closed down from Nigeria because of the cost of energy. They cannot run their factories. Where about the promises he made to the northerners that the textile industries are coming back, will revamp the what? The textile industry in the north. Where is the sector? How about the agricultural sector? What has happened to the agricultural sector within the last 1 year? We are talking about the energy sector. What happened to the power sector within the last 1 year? Now we are talking of removing power subsidy, and now we are talking about it.
You are using a different model now to assess the government. Okay, let's quickly touch on the new national ID project, Doctor. You know, they said they are going to have like 3 in May this year for about 100 million Nigerians. The ID cards, you know, one of them is bank enabled. I don't know what that means. I don't know whether you know something about it. Then a social intervention card. Maybe going by the number of people that have died while struggling to get the palliative. So they want to now get card. And then the final one on ECOWAS. Now, let's start with the first one. The bank enabled.
Let me quickly tell you about the 3 processes.
Okay.
The first one is the bank enabling card. What they mean by the bank enabling card, you have one SIM card that will hold is the number you are using, is your account number, it is everything will be linked to that.
BVN and everything.
Everything will be linked to it. That is the bank enabling card. It is your social security card, not financial security card.
Okay.
It's simple about it. It's a what? Financial security card. Anywhere they see your number, the new quarter, this guy owns this account in this bank, in this bank, in this bank, and this is transaction, and this is his phone number. If you are calling you, we know you are calling this account number. If this person commit any crime with this phone, we know we trace him through the bank. By the time you know, you just go to the account, you know his account, you know his house, you trace him to his house. Because your bank account have all your details.
But I read a caveat. I read a caveat, in the announcement. They said what they want to do is not actually to intrude into the privacy of Nigerians. Or that's a gimmick.
Let me tell you, if you look at CIA, if they have your card, they will call you. They will tell you, sorry, we are not to look at your privacy and what you do. But still yet, they have access to your privacy. What is that like? They don't make your privacy public for people to know. But they know quite
at the back end.
At the back end.
So
they know what
Nigeria,
to do for your life.
Can we say it's actually good, this one? Maybe it will address some challenges, insecurity and all that.
You see, we are still moving like we are in the 80s, when we are in the 21st century. If you go to advanced country, all these things, security card, economic security card, social card, are bundled into one card.
Instead of having multiple, but I don't know whether even this, at the end of the day, they will end up with one card.
The social card they are saying is, look, those that are qualified for social intervention, federal government social intervention, you understand now, like senior citizens, disabled, other things, you have this social card, you can go to your bank and get it. If that is the case, all the data information within the social card, why can't you make it the person should go and have a bank account? You now bundle the whole thing together in his bank account.
I found it very difficult to answer because there was a message somebody sent and said, now, what about the national ID card that we had?
That is it. The national ID card, they are now trained that we are trying to link the name with what? With your BVN. It's still giving us problem. You are adding another problem. You understand? Now coming with another 2 new problems.
Or 3.
No, let's leave the ECOWAS card. You understand now?
Why should we leave the ECOWAS card?
Let me tell you.
Okay, you want to treat it separately. Because I was also wondering when I look at the
card, you look at it, let me tell you.
I say, okay, what about our international passport? Which is, ECOWAS is vividly written.
You see, when one policy fails, we have this foreign policy. It's unfortunate.
Is it obsession with foreign things?
No.
Foreign policy?
Do you know why I'm smiling?
No.
That look, there are some foreign policy that you have brought to the limelight and looking at the big brotherhood of Nigeria as far as Community of Nations is concerned within the African context and within the global context. You understand now? If one policy failed, you see Nigeria would like to look, since we have failed in shouldering our responsibility as the big brother as far as what? Military junta is concerned, when you look at relationship between Nigeria and the Niger and other countries because of the threat, military threat, and it has failed. You understand now? Now we have to come back to redeem our image with what? With this ECOWAS card. So
are you saying it's an escapist approach?
It's an escapist. You are trying to open an exile whereby, look, you cover your face from, we are trying to shy away from what? From your lapses.
I'm getting agitated because while you are not amenable to the citizen delivery tracker, you are also not amenable to the new national ID card. And government will say, some of you analysts, you always criticize without giving options.
No criticism I made without giving option.
NIN,
very
problematic.
Good. Problematic. They said they want to link the BVM and NIN. Up to today, we are still having problem with that.
But maybe Nigerians are not cooperating.
Are not cooperating. You should have one. Look, when the banking sector came up with what? With the BVM, within 3 months, every bank holder account have BVN.
Those who are willing.
It is working, and it's perfectly working with every information. You understand now? So I went to open an account with GTB last week. They use my BVN. Instantly, they get all necessary information.
Everything about you. They didn't ask about maybe your age.
No, excuse me. When they want to get linked with my what? With my name, it now has problem. Look at the public sector.
The synchronization.
Yeah, they couldn't get enough information, my information from the NIM. Now, what is the problem? So the government app is always having problem. Why
the private sector
are not 24 hours at your service? You get them. So what is the problem? So let them ask the private sector, the government sector. How are they doing it? Then let them tell them, look, synchronize this name issue with your own, all this information, you understand now, we will give you a backup to it. Now, if you have a central data system that is working for you, as far as if the memory is not being choked up, you have over 250 million citizens, and you have a data system that can take only 1 million, and you are choking it up with 150 million, then how will you get result?
Very unlikely. So are you now, what is your suggestion to government in respect to now having these 3 layers of identification? You didn't say anything on the ECOWAS. Is it going to replace our international passports? I don't know.
Before I go to that, I'm sorry, please. Whenever the government want to get favor or to get something done by the citizens, they get it right. When the issue of pension management came, they get management pension, everything, everybody registered, and we are working. The pension management doesn't have issue with all the citizens, all the workers. When the issue of national health insurance scheme came, everybody registered, nobody's complaining, because the government are getting it right. Whatever they want to get from the citizens through that establishment, they are getting it. You understand now. But when it comes to service delivery to the benefit of what, of the citizens, then they are not getting it right. What is the problem? Somebody is benefiting there. So what I'm saying, there is corruption. Let them get a consultant from one of these foreign companies or foreign institutions, or even abroad. Get a partner, you understand now, from US, from France, from Russia, from China. China have the largest population in the whole world, followed by what? By India. And they still have their data. Why are we having this problem? America have over 350 million citizens, and they track every one of them. What is our problem?
So if I get you right, you are saying, instead of now doing homegrown thing, maybe we take what is happening somewhere and then domesticate it.
Domesticate it. If you don't have the capacity, bring these people, let them do it. Train your people on how to do it and hand over to them.
Because I know even the national identification number, at the time they said they will give people, the hard.
Look, all those things up to now,
the plastic,
more than 1 year, I have my paper slip with me. I have not gotten my card.
And they say, at the time they say it suffices. You don't need to get the
card again.
So how sure are Nigerians that maybe these new identity cards that they want to do, whether they will come to fruition?
Let me use this analysis. It's not a theory.
In brief, because we have come to the end.
Let me tell you, history tells you what will happen in the future. The essence of history is to tell you what happened yesterday, and for you to learn today and to guide you against tomorrow. So now, as we are talking, if we said NIM is a failure, we need security card, national enabled card, all those things. How are we sure that those ones are going to work? Because it's just turning an old wine into a new cake and reforming it, giving it a different name. This is not what we want.
All right, thank you very much. I wish we have more time, Dr. Suleiman Abdullahi, to continue the discussion on these very, very important issues. But I hope we have you some other time.
No problem. Thank you.
Once again, Eid Mubarak to you and to your family.
Same to you.
And viewers, that's a wrap on today's package. We hope you found the conversation engaging and informative. And be sure to join Daily Politics airing every weekday and our special package on Friday, during which we open the telephone line for you to comment on national issues. Once again, Eid Mubarak to all of you. Bye-bye for now. I'm Hamza Idris.